Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here today. Could you please tell us a bit more about yourself and also just introduce yourself and your current role in STEM?
Okay. Briefly, my name is Dr. Idayat Adeola Akinwumi. I'm from Nigeria. I grew up in Ibadan, southwestern part of Nigeria. So I had my first degree at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. I studied forestry as medicinal plant research. Then I had my M.Sc, that's master's degree, and Ph.D degree from the University of Ibadan, Faculty of Pharmacy. I graduated in February 2021. I'm currently a lecturer at Lee City University, Ibadan. Then I recently completed my 1 year postdoctoral fellowship sponsored by AAUW, that's American Association of University Women at Morgan State University. So I got back recently and I'm married with children.
Hey, that's wonderful. So I noticed that you have a PhD in pharma, pharmacognosy. I'm so sorry.
Pharmacognosy, yes.
Cognosy. Okay, I'm so sorry for mispronouncing
Okay,
that.
yes, let me briefly explain. Pharmacognosy is a branch of pharmacy whereby drugs are produced from natural sources, like medicinal plants, bacteria, fungi. So it's a branch of pharmacy because under Faculty of Pharmacy, we have different departments. We have pharmaceutical chemistry, we have clinical pharmacy, we have pharmacognosy and others. We also have pharmaceutical microbiology. So I'm in the department of pharmacognosy.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. And what
Yeah.
initially sparked your interest in pharmacognosy and
Hmm.
just STEM as well?
Yeah, actually, I had wanted to study pharmacy right from the beginning while in high school. Unfortunately, I was not admitted due to competition and all that, jam, cut off score, and everything. So eventually, I was really supported by my father. Like I didn't give up. So I was given an admission to study forestry at the University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. So I started studying the forestry. So when I now got to my final year, when I got to 500 level, I met my good supervisor, Professor Samuel Oluwalano. He's into medicinal chemistry. So it was now like, why not try to work on medicinal plants that are used for the treatment of gunshot bullets? Because I was initially surprised. I was like, is it really possible? He said, yes, it is. So lo and behold, I just went into ethnobotanical survey to carry out most of those plants. I went to Ogbomoso. Fortunately for me, my mother is from Ogbomoso, southwestern part of Nigeria. So we were able to meet the traditional medical practitioners over there and the hunters. So they joined us. So they gave us indigenous knowledge about these plants that were used for extraction of gunshot bullets. And we did the mini practical. Alas, most of these bullet wounds were coming out using these forest plants. So after my first degree, I felt so interested in this, like how could this happen? What would be the cause of this? So my supervisor then now advised me to move to University of Ibadan to go to that department. He just told me that one day that they need you in that department. Go to pharmacognosy and go and see the phytochemical constituent, the chemical constituent that are responsible for this activity. So I had to go for my master's degree and my PhD degree. So fate brought me back to pharmacy.
Wow, that's so interesting. That's one area that I haven't actually considered before. And I'm very surprised to I'm very
It's
surprised to
actually
hear that the
interesting.
gunshot
It's very
bullets can actually come out with the medicinal plants.
Yes, it's possible. It is.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And can you share an experience or a few experiences of where your pharmacognosy skills were instrumental in making a difference or solving a significant problem?
Yes, starting from the experience I had right from my undergraduate degree, I pursued my master's degree. I worked on wound healing activities of Nigerian medicinal plants. So I was able to see the effect of these plants, like we are rich in natural resources in Nigeria. Why not explore most of these plants? So another instance would be when I was having my postdoctoral fellowship at Morgan State University. That was at the Department of Chemistry. I worked with Dr. Janan Peng. So I was fortunate to get some plant because his area of interest is actually cancer. He's working on anti-cancer drugs from natural sources. So I was able to get some medicinal plants from Nigeria. I collected the plants before traveling to the United States. So the plants were dried and they were ground. So I took the powdered samples to America. So fortunately for us, we saw the prospects of these plants. Most of these plants, they showed good activity for treatment of cancer. So I know it's a plus for us in natural products chemistry. So we are trying to produce drugs from natural sources that will be used for the treatment of cancer, majorly lung cancer and breast cancer. And we can also see that most of these anti-cancer drugs, most of the method of cancer treatment is actually chemotherapy with a lot of side effects. So now we are trying to provide solution, trying to get more drugs from natural sources that will have less side effects and will also be affordable to patients. So that's what I'm working on presently.
Oh, that's wonderful. And out of curiosity, are some of these drugs topical or strictly by ingestion?
Did you mean the drug? Yes,
Yes,
it's
so
topical. Most of them, yes, it's going to be topical. Most of the drugs, yes.
oh, oh, that's amazing. Oh, and what are some of the goals that you would desire to achieve in the nearest future in your field?
Oh, well, presently I'm a lecturer and I am enjoying it. I have passion for lecturing, especially to impact on the young scientists, especially the women. Like in my university, it's a privately owned university. Lead City University is the number one university, private university in Ibadan, Nigeria. So I'm trying to impact on my student. I have female students. It's a new faculty at Lead City actually. Our first test, they are presently in 400 level. So some of them, they are looking up to people like us, especially the women in science. So that's what I'm trying to do now, like encourage them. You lay good examples, let them see you as role models. So that's what I'm doing presently. In the future, like I'm interested in drug discovery from natural sources.
Oh,
Yes.
that's amazing. That's so amazing. And can you describe a mentor or role model who has played a significant role in shaping your career, and how did they inspire you?
Hmm. Yeah, I'll start by mentioning my undergraduate supervisor, Professor Samuel Uluwalano from University of Abeokuta. Is a very good man. He's a very good, as a father. He really inspired me because initially I didn't know anything about this faculty. I know faculty of pharmacy, but I didn't know anything about pharmacognosy initially. I can remember then when I obtained the form, I initially obtained the form to continue forestry for my master's degree. So, he wanted to serve as one of my recommenders. So I had to take the form back to Abeokuta to give him. It was not like, I don't want you to continue in forestry. Go to pharmacognosy and explore, and it is really paving way for me. So I can't forget him. Then my other mentor is my supervisor, Professor Mubo Adeola Akinwumi. Fortunately, she's also a woman. She inspired me a lot. I learned so many things from her. She supervised my master's and my PhD degree. We communicate till date, and she's still a mentor to me. Like, she doesn't only supervise, she's a mother. Other work-life balance, she talks to you, she knows how to balance it. She had to buy your family knife, she knows my family. Each time I'm giving birth, she will be aware, she will be there. She was present at my wedding. She's a mother. I'm learning a lot from her. So I've had so many people. Professor Adigbitse, who was my mentor when I had one fellowship, that is Howard, African Women in Agricultural Research and Development. That was 2015. He was my mentor. Then I also have Dr. Adeola Salami. Too numerous to mention. I'm lucky.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And also, can you share any experiences of challenges that you may have encountered as an African woman starting in your career, and how did you overcome them to remain successful in your field?
Actually, I had some challenges. The first challenge I'll mention was funding. when I was starting my PhD. But you know, Nigeria, you have to fund yourself. How to pay the tuition fee was so difficult for me, coupled with the fact that I was not employed then. So I was being sponsored by my father and my husband. Unfortunately, I lost him in my second year of my postgraduate, of my PhD. My father, he has been so supportive. He actually paid my first year school fees. He was encouraging me to do more, to be a go-getter. So I really missed him. So my father helped me a lot. But you know, apart from paying the tuition fee, you need to fund yourself for reagents. You have to pay for in vitro assays, chemicals and reagents were so expensive. So it was so difficult for me. But thank God I was able to overcome when I got to the third year of my program. I was awarded a TWAS fellowship. That's the World Academy of Science. So I traveled to ICCBS, International Center for Chemical and Biological Sciences at Pakistan. I went there for 6 months. So it was sponsored, fully sponsored. So I was even given stipends. And when I go back home, I was rich. Like I was like, so I can still benefit from academics. So eventually I had to forget all the things I passed through. Yes, and sorry. Then another challenge is work-life balance. I remember when I was raising my children, I started raising my children when I was running on my M.Sc. I could remember a particular day when I was going for my Viva M.Sc defense. I actually carried my 30-day-old son to the university for the defense, thanks to my husband. He was the one that carried the baby. He was crying and crying because the external examiner did not even care. I spent 1 good hour with my external examiner, and my baby was outside crying. But I didn't want to have an extra year because of that, you know. So I had to strive hard to finish with my colleagues.
Wow. And so when at the early stages of your career, starting out and also being a new mother, how was that? How was the balance for you?
It was quite difficult. It was very, very difficult, I must be sincere. But what I learned is if you have a supportive husband, then the sky should be the beginning. Because my husband was so supportive, very, very supportive. If I had to meet with my supervisor by 8 a.m., he will be the one to take care of the house. He will take care of the kids. He will take them to school. Then I have to go myself. Just wake up, have my bath, pack my things, and go. Because my supervisor is a disciplinarian. Once you don't meet up by 8 o'clock, she'll tell you come back by 3:30, and you have to stay in school till 3:30 p.m. So that is what I'm also learning now. Then I also learned how to be time conscious, how to keep to time. So it's really helping. It was pretty difficult, but with the support of my husband, I was able to pull through.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And what advice do you have for young women who would want to start out in STEM, or even those who are maybe in high school and they're also trying to come up and maybe they're being discouraged by the statistics out there of the number of men in STEM compared to women?
Well, I think I'll just tell them to keep pushing. STEM is quite interesting, and there are so many opportunities in STEM if you can explore it. Once you are interested in it, you have passion, then you work towards it. Hard work, perseverance. It is very, very important. STEM, successful women in STEM. Why not emulate them? Ask questions. Make them your role models. Then pray.
Okay. Thank you so, so much for your time. This has been amazing, and it's been so amazing learning from you.
Yes,
Really
yes.
appreciate the time that you took to speak with us today.
Thank you very much for having me.